And Dave is hosting Normal World on the Blaze Network, and you guys have election night coverage?
Yes, I will be downtown tomorrow night in Detroit. I might be at Coney Island. I might be at Telly's, and I might be outside of Cobo Hall, which I guess has a new name now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's the Huntington Center.
That's what it is. I always
Very
forget
important.
which bank stole
It
our
used to
joy.
be TCF, yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, but didn't the Cobo guy say some terrible, mean things?
Oh, Mayor Cobo is total racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why.
But I think, no.
No?
The reason it changed is because there's a sponsorship opportunity to bring money
We've
in.
had mayors arguably do worse.
Yeah.
Maybe murder a prostitute.
Currently, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I was down at the Coney today at American. It is a nightmare down there because is Kamala in town again?
Yes.
Yeah, everything is just, the big dump truck so nobody can drive through anywhere, and
Her
it's
ass.
a nightmare.
But she's not saying Trump's name
No.
for 48 hours. That's interesting shtick.
Like Beetlejuice?
Oh, I hate.
I think that I said, really, is that going to help any? What's the point of that?
You're going against the man. Just speak.
Yeah.
It's the same as why she would. I don't get why she wouldn't do Rogan after he did it. It's all very bizarre to me.
I know, what a reach. What a reach she has.
Yeah.
Well, SNL, less than 5 million. Rogan, Trump got 33 million people or something
So
like
far,
that.
yeah.
So what would have happened on Rogan? That wouldn't have gone well, I guess.
I talked to him though, and he said it wasn't going to be an unfair. I mean, he's just going to ask your questions.
You talked to Joe?
I know him, yeah. But it's like, name drop, everybody catch. Yeah, but he was just going to give her a decent interview, and she could not at all. I don't know. I don't know if she could answer a question or say a policy. I really don't know.
Well, the Brett Baer interview was so crazy combative. I just assumed that they went in there. Well, they showed up late. They knew he had to be live at 6. So I assume the idea was because he asked really simple questions.
He started a little hard. I'll admit that. Where he's like, "How many murderers did you let free? How many people were killed?
How many
'cause of
millions did you let
violence?"
in? It was kind of a stupid question, I thought. But when they're asking questions, she never had an answer to the question, why did you want transgender surgery for illegals and for prison inmates or whatever? And she just acted like she didn't say it.
Yeah. And you're just sitting there realizing this is a real question where it's like taxpayers are paying for sex changes for inmates.
Yeah, well, I mean, why don't you say, I shouldn't have said that, or I don't feel that way anymore.
Maybe just say I don't feel it's an important issue anymore. There's so much going on in America that may be changing the sex of, I don't know, rapists.
No, it's the commercial, and that was Trump's most effective commercial, I'm told. I don't know. But, today I was watching coverage of the election. They were saying this Des Moines Register poll is huge. Trump may have lost Iowa. Oh, my God. It's within the margin of error. But then I turn over to NBC, and NBC says, our poll says it's 49-49 overall. It's the first time Trump is not losing heading into Election Day. So I guess that's good.
Nobody knows anything.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to know until... I don't even
January
know.
7th?
Yeah, it'll be sometime around there. We don't even know who's the president now.
I know.
I mean, really, it's just a puppet.
That's right.
Whoever we hire, it just doesn't matter.
It's funny, he drops out. Nobody gives a shit about old man Biden
No
anymore.
one cared. Trump got shot in the ear, and Biden was just like, I'm in it to win it unless I get COVID. Oh, I got COVID. Bye. See you later. Never coming back.
Fuck you.
Don't you think that Joe Biden's going to vote for Trump? I feel like
Probably.
he hates Kamala Harris.
So do I. He's trying on Trump hats.
Yeah, that was
That's
weird.
right.
All of a sudden, he's doing things that make him seem like he is of sound mind and body, and he's evil.
He'll write himself in.
Oh,
Did you see he was biting some baby's foot the other day?
He was biting babies instead of kissing them.
What the fuck was that? And then he said he wanted to smack Trump on the ass.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Oh, yeah. And he can't admit that he said that either. I love how they changed.
These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
That's really how you teach a man a lesson, Joe.
That's a weird thing to say.
Is that- that's how he disciplined his daughter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Taking showers, forcing her to take showers with him until she was... Boy, funny how those things, you were talking about, you sent me a show. I was like, Dave, send me a show, a recent show that you like. Dave sent me a show. It was a great show. But you were talking about Obama was saying, gee, when everything gets so toxic?
Yeah.
And it is funny what things just get forgotten. Just completely forgotten. Like that, the showers with the kid was like, it seemed like it'd be, you could really make hay over that.
Yeah, the laptop as well. It wasn't. I mean, he did. There was stuff on it that was bad. If you're not into
Really bad.
CP, that child, not the. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really bad. So that was kind of rushed under the rug. You look at everything that happened with that campaign, and then you hear, well, Hunter's not the one running, but they also took a guy who was clearly on drugs, fixed his teeth, and had him go on Good Morning America and say that he's fine and his dad saved his life and his dad's his hero. I don't know. It was all bad.
I'm stunned. I mean, some of that I just can't even believe it happened, and it was really never discussed. Like the art, selling his art.
Yeah.
Hey, he's a
that's
painter.
just weird.
He's got to make a living.
And I know, Trump's son-in-law made a lot of money in Saudi Arabia, but Trump's a business person. I mean, there's some basis for it. That doesn't mean that they didn't cheat the system. I'm sure they did. But for Hunter Biden to be making art and trying to sell it for $500,000 and getting reviewed and then giving art to his baby
Yes.
Yeah, as compensation.
for instead of child support, was just so weird and skeevy.
Yeah, one of the strippers. He was
Yeah,
like, I
that's
made
right.
you a painting. I'm
Yeah.
not going to raise the kid.
Just what every stripper wants.
It's a painting.
A painting.
Why did she accept that though? What's going on? I mean, something going on there,
There's probably
right?
another deal we just don't know about.
I'm sure.
A cash settlement that's just not public.
Can you
Oh,
sell?
I think we would know.
I think the pregnancy was a cash settlement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he acted like he didn't know who she was, and I don't remember any of it. Now I've spent periods of time where I was fucked up, but I would remember something like that.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm a recovering addict, but I do know if somebody showed up that looked just like me and was like, are you my dad? I'd be like, hang on while I grabbed a gun.
There's a great story today. This seemed like an October surprise, but it's not an October surprise because it's not a big story. Although, I kind of thought that Epstein interview was it Michael Wolfmark?
It's Michael Wolff, yeah. And
That seemed like...
he's such a nut job, though, that no one will believe it.
Yeah, I could cover that a little bit more. I listened to the podcast. He interviewed Epstein he said quite a bit. And Epstein said some really weird things. I don't really know what to say about him, how much I believe him, because it sounded like Trump was Epstein's bitch.
That's how he makes it sound.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I believe that.
No, I don't either. But I don't know anything about the Epstein thing because they're not telling us. Like they told us David Copperfield because kids love magic, and the other one was Stephen Hawking. And you're like, Stephen Hawking? Like, can you believe he went to the island? I'm like, pretty sure he was brought. Not sure if he blew the plane. The guy had a body that looked like a spider was hit with a shoe. I'm not really sure. I'm really sure he was going there for the sex.
But he loved He loved women gyrating around him.
You've seen Epstein
I've heard that
Island
a million times.
Yeah.
You've seen Epstein Island. It's ADA compliant.
Yeah,
There's
that's true.
ramps all over the place.
Yeah, it's for strollers.
There's nothing like that.
What'd you say, Hawk? I missed that.
I'm going to kick this guy's ass.
Dude, he had the teeth like he looked like one of those Shih Tzus that got hit by a car, and like they didn't put it down. So every time it comes in the room, you're like, "What is this? I don't want to pet this thing."
He did have
He's like the winner.
did.
He's like
He had
the winner
awful-
of the ugly dog contest
Yeah,
that you see every year.
He really is. He's just like that sideways.
But he pulled
His tongue
chicks.
hanging out.
Yeah, he's,
And it's like this. And chicks are, he stole his doctor's woman, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Which
she doesn't like the dog
it's
talk.
my understanding. She may have been in it for the money.
Yeah, that's possible.
And also, it's
Smart
like
guy.
his computer just talked supposedly through his eyes. Yeah, look at him. Like, we don't know that. He could have just been jelly, and somebody else could be talking into his. Look at that.
Yeah, that's
Kiss me.
you just would not think he could pull chicks, but he did.
No. But I mean, if you're on an island, I guess, with ideally trafficked people, he's probably he's the best guy to get. He's not going to fight back.
No.
You could really just put him on his belly and hit him with shoes.
Easy to escape.
Yeah.
All you got to do is run in a zigzag
Yes.
pattern like he's an alligator.
Yeah. How did you get away? I put him on the table and
I
tilted
unplugged
his
his
chair.
chair.
Yeah.
He would have had a great time, though.
I took his glasses, oddly enough, another handicap. God couldn't even give him sight. That's what a monster he was, apparently.
But Epstein, he was a science guy, so there's that connection. I mean,
I love that
who
segue.
knows?
Right.
He loves science.
He loved
You guys are
experiments.
mean.
You guys are mean. Sorry, Hawk.
I'm sorry, Stephen.
There was a great
Well,
story today. The October surprise I was kind of talking about, but it's not really an October surprise. I just thought it was very interesting that Catherine Herridge from CBS, who left CBS a while ago,
Yeah.
it was like, wait, she's a great reporter. What's going on? It was very murky, and she said, they won't give me my files. And so anyway, today she says that she told CBS in October of 2020 that the laptop had material about retainers from a Chinese energy firm, also that she could verify the laptop was Hunter Biden's. She had also reviewed business texts and emails that were clearly his. She talked to Tony Bobolinsky, among others, and she reported all this, that pretty much she could verify the whole thing, to Ingrid Cyprian Matthews, who I've never heard of, but she apparently works for Norah O'Donnell. So you think this is CBS News material. Apparently not. Didn't land on CBS News. And then Catherine Herridge is watching a month later when Trump was interviewed by Leslie Stahl. And Leslie Stahl laughed Trump off when he said, the laptop. And she said, Donald, we can't talk about things we can't verify. And she said, I was sick. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they know.
Of course they know.
So now she was still there for a couple years after that. And she said they did not acknowledge her work until 2 years later after midterms in November of 2022. So this is really really weird.
They claimed it false. Giuliani had one of them, which they took from him. And I don't remember how they found the first one. I think he just went to Geek Squad and was like, the video of my niece giving me a foot job seems to be messing up my computer. But like they had two of these things. Then he threw a gun into a trash can outside an elementary school. Yeah. And I get it. Like, I've done a lot of coke. I can understand maybe doing that. I don't know. Maybe. But the fact that they would never verify this when it was completely real. Like, even the book Laptop from Hell was published based on everything seen in the laptop.
I still haven't read that. Is that good? Is it worth reading?
It's not. Once it gets to the M&M parts and everything, it's a lot to take in. But the fact that that's all available to look at the guy, and he just never has been, until last year, but he was never held accountable for anything. Well,
Joe Biden never was asked about this other than the debate where he said, 51 former Intel people say his version is different. He never was asked about it again.
No.
Never. 4 years went by.
Yep.
Never talked, never asked.
Come on, man.
That's
We're just being ran by
strange.
oligarchs at this point. It's like...
So anyway, Catherine Herridge seemed to be trying to sound some kind of an alarm today and just pointing out this is a very strange kind of journalism I'm not really familiar with, where you ignore important work by people and verifying things. And I really thought, this kind of is the cherry on top of the Kamala interview where they edited it and then they wouldn't release the whole interview.
Yes.
I'm assuming there's a horrible interview there somewhere.
It's got to be because Trump's suing for them for having election interference.
Well, I would say Catherine Herridge's story would be better election interference than the interview.
Yeah, you're right.
Both of them, maybe. I don't know. I mean, how do you determine election interference? I mean,
yeah,
what does that word even mean anymore? But it's just CBS. I don't know. CBS, I kind of wanted to think that CBS is better than this, although, recent years. And we just watched the GMA intro, Dave and I.
Yes.
Mark, I've been talking about those lately, how GMA opens with these horrible Trump headlines. And Kamala's doing this. Yeah. And granted, Trump, it was the Liz Cheney. He was talking about shooting Liz Cheney or having a rifle at her head. And then today he's talking about shooting the media and he wouldn't mind. And Kamala, meanwhile, isn't even mentioning his name. And they're just really brutal. And I actually went and watched Today's Show and CBS intros, and they weren't nearly as bad. So I don't know who hates Trump the most. It's hard to say.
Well, he's making a joke standing in a bulletproof box because they tried to shoot him twice now.
Yes.
And the first time we can all admit that the Secret Service may have flubbed a little.
That's another one where I'm like, how can this not be more discussed? Like, what the fuck was going on in Secret Service?
What they
How
took
does it just
people-
go away? Pfft.
They took people from Homeland Security, gave them an hour tutorial on tape, and were like, go for it. That's why there's people going, hey, there's a shooter up there. And they're like, could you keep it down? We're like,
Yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah, with a rifle.
the attendees are going, hey, what the hell's going on up there? Like, what? Oh, shit.
And you find out, like, yeah, there was 50 minutes of complaints, which I just, personally, I feel isn't a good job.
No. No.
Unless it's to keep it a secret. But yeah, that was nuts. And then the guy who tried to shoot him on his golf course just had a rifle sticking out of a shrub like Elmer Fudd.
Mm-hmm.
And then they pull him out and he's got the Ukraine flag hair.
And he drove away, and somebody just happened to get the plate, not one of our guys.
Right.
If they hadn't, he'd probably, who knows where he'd be.
A caddy.
I'm still waiting for the Thomas Crooks special, the big expose on him and what he was doing and why there's no silverware in his house and why everything was scrubbed. And I don't know,
What's the no silverware part? I didn't know about this.
It's just rumors I've heard. I've heard nothing but rumors because there's nothing that's come out that said, hey, this is what Thomas Crooks was like prior to, his assassination attempt of Donald Trump. You don't know nothing about him, do you?
No, I don't. And,
Nobody knows.
School shooters, generally you do. Like, this guy that shot up Oxford High, we know so much about Ethan Crumley.
Oh, yeah.
And, what
Part
stuff
of
he
the
was
reason
posting.
is Crooks is dead. I mean, they blew his head off, so there's
Right.
no trial or anything.
But there's an imprint.
No, I know. And but all the stories are he's a fucking loser. Right? And
Yeah,
he's a misguided loser.
Well, he had a book, though, supposedly, that appeared the next day on Amazon, all about, like, the Ukraine and all this other stuff. If you look
Really?
at it.
His
Yeah.
manifesto or whatever.
Yeah, I guess it was just a book he had published like a couple years before, poorly reviewed. But yeah, it's.
Were these trolls putting reviews in after the assassination, or were these already bad
I feel they were
reviewed?
already there. They were like, "This is not a readable book." It sounds like somebody who might try to shoot a president.
We were talking, by the way, about Anthony Cumia's book, and
Yes.
I was reminded when Compound just merged. Who did they merge with, by the way? Do you know offhand?
It was with Gavin McGinnis's company, as far as I know. But I think I can't remember the name of it offhand for some reason.
Well, I was watching some of these guys talking about some of the people that had worked there, talking about someone were saying, God, what a great time, getting paid for doing this for 10 years and working at the studio with all these fun people. There were other people who were like, oh, this is bullshit. Anthony didn't even fire us. This other guy fired us, and he's an asshole. And it was just a lot of that. But as I was sort of reading more and more about it, I was going, 10 years, a lot of people went through there.
They did.
Like yourself, and Artie was there.
Yes.
Legion of Skanks.
Legion of Skanks was like the first secondary show they had.
I mean, those guys have gone on to great, great things.
Oh, they've exploded.
Shane Gillis had a show.
Yeah, he was on. I was on his show for a little while. It was called The Fair One.
I mean, I had no idea he worked at Compound.
Yeah. Shane works at Compound.
Was that his first big show or show of significance?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he got that, and then he got SNL, and then he wasn't on Compound anymore, and then he wasn't on SNL either.
Yeah.
But then I think it turned around a bit for him. Fortunately.
He's doing okay. He's got
Yeah,
about
yeah.
120,000 Patreons or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think he makes like $3 million a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
Michael Malice, who's done really well.
Very well. Yep.
Bill
yeah, he
Schultz
was on
and Joanne. I didn't really know the morning show very well. Gavin McInnes, Pat Nixon, Brian Johnson with Eric Nagel and Chrissy Mayer. I mean, a lot of people who did pretty well.
Yeah, they did good. I mean, a lot of the shows were great. Don Jameson had a show too on there, which was great.
That was mentioned.
Florentine would come on. Oh, sorry, I missed it. But yeah,
No, I didn't
he
mention
was
it.
great. And Don's show was the best. I have Don on my show quite a bit.
How's Giovanni Ribisi, by the way?
He was fine.
What's he up to, Mark?
Scientology.
Yeah,
Isn't he a big Scientologist?
I think he is a Scientology.
Yeah, the whole
guy, yeah.
family
Did
is
he
in there.
convert you? Was there a tent?
He did, yeah. Danny Masterson fucks me. in the bathroom.
He sounds like a great guy.
Yeah, he really is hilarious.
Took down Ashton Kutcher with him.
Yeah, him and
his
Ashton.
wife.
Yeah, his wife were like, "You should let him go."
He's the greatest guy. I read that letter. It's like, wow, I've never heard anyone say so many great things about someone. It was
He's the nicest rapist.
yes.
It's just a gentle man.
Ashton Kutcher has bigger things to worry about, namely Diddy.
Yeah, now Diddy's just come
yeah.
across his plate.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Today's Diddy's birthday, by the way.
Hey.
Yeah, he's 55.
Wow.
So I don't know. What
45 years older than the women he likes.
Yes, and the boys.
Yes, and the boys and Usher and Beep. God, what a terrible world.
I know. It is really. I feel like there's other people that are part of that who are going down. ID Channel just did about an hour special on Chris Brown.
Oh, yeah.
What a fuckface that guy is. How do these people? How can you continue being such an asshole so publicly, and it doesn't affect you at all?
No, his fans are rabid. They love him. It's all forgiven.
Isn't that weird? It's like
He makes bangers. Just
I know,
make a
but-
banger and do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's true. As long as you have some hits.
Yeah, look at Jackson.
Yeah. Well, look at what Tina
R. Kelly.
Turner? R. Kelly. R. Kelly was doing real well up until they decided you shouldn't be able to urinate on kids.
But they were going to let that one go.
I know. Oh my God, look at that. What was the other one? Sorry, I just caught the Diddy party caught my eye, and it's freaky.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I was scrolling through some of the stories about Diddy and learning that his birthday dinner options are chicken or tofu rice with black beans and carrots. It's just, it's not the crystal he's used to.
That's too bad.
Baby oil.
Yeah.
Not bad for a prison.
But yeah, look at this Diddy party.
Yeah, that's a good picture right there.
Well, people keep saying that the baby oil was drugs, but I think it's even creepier if the baby oil was
Baby oil, yeah.
But if you look at him, he was a
Wait,
very
how would it be drugs?
yeah,
I heard that too.
yeah, like GHB could be in there.
Oh, they rub it on people. Next thing you know, they're knocked out, and
Yes.
just the way you want to rape them.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's a Cosby recipe.
Would he go through that much work, or would he just have it and put it in drinks?
No. Well, look how moist he is. He used a lot of it.
I'm going to ask you a
I
question.
want to be
A
ashy.
lotioned man.
Drew would like to know the answer to this question. Do you find Diddy attractive as a male?
No.
Isn't he fucking ugly?
Yeah, I don't think
so
he-
fucking ugly. I've been saying this for weeks now. I want people to join with me. I just think he's so fucking ugly. I can't believe the women he was with. I know he had some money.
But I mean, like Jay-Z and Biggie, like
They're
all
not
talked
they're
about,
not attractive.
and they've mentioned it in their songs.
Yeah, it's just I've always felt he was evil. It seemed like he's been connected to so many things.
Yeah, like murders and-
murders and rapes.
Beatings.
Tupac, the elevator door opens with Tupac with 5 bullets in him in his
Yes.
studio. It's like, oh, and it's funny because Tupac, I know at the time said, they just didn't react the way I thought they would.
Yeah.
I think they were expecting to get a call that, Tupac's dead in your lobby. And instead of the door opens up, oh my God, he's still alive. What do you know?
That guy got
Can we help
shot.
you?
The fact that he lived to 25 is actually kind of a miracle.
Yeah.
When you think it's like, wow, it's a young way to die, but he was shot 100 times. I mean, they finally put him down at a stoplight.
How did, we joke about the 9 times 50 Cent was shot, but how did he survive 9 shots? Were they all in the wrist or something?
Yeah, that is a crazy story.
Just grazed everywhere?
I was thinking he's really the only winner in the whole Diddy thing, isn't he? I mean, that's really helped to 50 Cent.
Oh, it has.
Yeah.
He's been a huge winner. He's going to make a whole documentary. I mean, I like the guy now.
Oh, yeah.
He's been
Well-
shot 9 times. So.
Yeah, and he hated Diddy.
Yeah. Well, because I think he knew certain things. Probably got ripped off by him.
You know
A
what?
lot of people knew
I guess
certain things.
his baby mama was being trafficked by Diddy, is what
Yeah.
it sounds like. But so will other people go down with Diddy, or will it all end like Epstein?
It's going to end like Epstein, I think. I think you're going to see some of Hollywood fail. Either fall. But I mean, you have, we already had this year. We've talked about it on here, I think, when we had the Nickelodeon documentary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that started it. Leonardo DiCaprio is in videos. Kevin Hart's in videos at Diddy parties.
At Diddy parties? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Kevin Hart. Yeah, that video is not cool, but it's not that bad.
But it's not bad. Like,
No.
it's not, he could just
Could be worse.
Could just be hosting the orgy,
Yeah, it could be.
giving shout outs to
Well,
rappers.
There's a couple topless women in the bathroom. One's hair catches on fire.
Yes,
and
He's never turned down a hosting job.
No, I mean, he's definitely somebody who likes to work. He probably shot a credit card commercial in the backyard while doing it.
he seems pretty delighted to be there, though, I will say.
Oh, for sure. I think he was enjoying himself. But, I mean, you don't see anything on camera. But also, if you
No,
are...
he's not doing anything.
Yeah. If everybody is doing stuff that's horribly illegal, though, why record it and have them shout out names of who's there? It just seems counterproductive to any sort of organized crime I've ever heard about.
I guess, isn't it? Tekashi 6ix9ine recorded armed robberies, didn't
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's crazy.
he? He's stupid.
Yeah, he went away, too. Not for long.
R. Kelly recorded himself pissing on a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, it was home movies.
This is his brother.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing, though, that he survived that he actually won the trial? The girl's parents, oh, my God, they don't want to testify. It's the weirdest thing.
Oh, he
It's
was
crazy.
like-
They're just really weird about testifying.
He was like, you guys should vacation in Paris on me on these exact dates. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, look, they didn't show up.
Oh, no.
I just can't imagine the amount of money it would be to be like, well, it's fine that he urinated on her. That's the exact Paris trip.
Yeah, how about
Like, why
that?
was a Paris trip worth that?
Lie.
I just don't recall the jury being interviewed because it would be kind of interesting to find out why they thought that was okay or what they thought. I mean, what the story was, it was his brother, but he doesn't look like his brother that much, did he, Mark?
Well, no, remember the video was really grainy, so it was another black
Was it
guy
really that
in front of a
grainy?
jury. So you could just say, that's my brother. And be like, okay, I guess it could be his brother.
I thought the video was pretty clear,
The
wasn't it?
video of the pissing, no,
Yeah.
it was pretty grainy.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about
But
it.
everyone saw it.
I used to always wonder about that poor lady who put up bond to get him out.
that's right.
Never got
yeah.
her money back.
Oh, yeah.
That was after,
The one they met on a cruise.
that was like 2020 or 19 or something when all this was really starting to go down. And yeah, he had met her on a cruise and they were so close. And she bought him out for $100,000 and never got her money back.
Yes.
Stupid.
$100,000, yeah. She went to the judge too, and the judge was like, no, that's what bond is. You put it up, you run the risk.
Yeah, that's
She was
exactly
complaining
it.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad he's
piece of
definitely a guy who
shit.
deserves to be put away for a long time.
Piece of shit.
Massive piece of shit.
Well, I'm hoping that Diddy's going to pull in a few too. Is Kanye ever going to go down? Is that going to end?
I don't know. You kind of take yourself down when you're like, I love Hitler, and you're walking and just. I mean,
He's been doing that for 2 years. It doesn't seem to bother him.
No, I mean, he's let everybody know that he's a big fan of Adolf.
And he
I
walks,
do love Hitler.
walks around with a nude woman in foreign countries where you'd think it'd be a little problem.
She's filleting him on one of those boats.
Oh, yeah, that's
right.
right.
I forgot about
Italy.
that one in Paris.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, rappers get away with a lot, but rappers got away with a lot in the 90s, just in their videos. It's like, all right, if you're going to watch the car, do it with your tits. Like,
Yeah.
and champagne, and yeah.
I was surprised that AB was pulling his dick out in Qatar or somewhere. I thought
Yeah.
that surely is not a good idea.
They didn't care, though.
I guess they didn't.
They gave him a
No.
pass. He could run really fast.
well, he's not a woman taking her mask off. That would be a real no-no.
And it was totally straight.
Yeah.
There was nothing gay about it.
Right.
either,
Can you imagine
so
if a
it'd be
lady
okay.
was driving a car?
Oh,
That
God,
would be a real problem.
without permission?
I just got a high IQ.
Dave, I want to mention again, this is the Premier Center, Clinton Township, November 23rd, Saturday before Thanksgiving, New Year's Eve at One Night Stands.
That's right.
Got to jump on those tickets.
Yeah, jump on, guys. Join us. I got a lot of fun people on the show.
Dave, have you kept up with Rosie O'Donnell's daughter?
No, is she the one that ran away?
No, she actually got busted with meth. I think there was some needles in the
She
baby's
did run
room.
away, though. You're right.
Didn't she run
did,
away?
yeah.
When she was young, she ran away, yeah.
That
She
was 7
8,
years ago,
17,
but I
yeah.
should have referenced that. Yeah. She was going to go to her biological mother's house 2 weeks before her 18th birthday, and Rosie said, "Get the fuck out of here," and which upset the daughter. And so when she got busted, which was her second bust in a month, and it's bad. There's like
like
5 kids. She's
Sorry.
5 kids.
Okay, 5 kids.
25.
I just want to say that Rosie O'Donnell is identical to Oliver Platt now. No
pretty
difference.
So we couldn't help but notice that Rosie's attitude about it was, oh, she's bipolar and she's never learned to tell the truth and, she needs to rot in jail for a while or something like that. Meanwhile, she's like, free the Menendez brothers! Yeah. And I thought, I'm surprised more people aren't talking about this. And then I noticed, yeah, a lot of people are talking about it. And now her daughter is talking about it.
Oh, really?
She ripped her mom, said, my mother is more interested in getting the Menendez brothers released from prison than getting me out. I have a drug problem. I need to go to rehab, but I've never killed anyone.
Her biological or adoptive parents.
Exactly.
Rosie is a loser.
She's 0 for 4.
Yeah.
You belong in there. I really can't help you out of there, Rosie said. And she seems to have no interest in the grandkids. And the daughter said she's never met 3 of the grandkids.
Really?
Doesn't care about them. Yeah. She wants nothing to do with my kids. And she said, I was raised by nannies. My mom likes to think she's this great person helping out the world, including the Menendez brothers. But she's letting me sit here in jail and rot. So, and then she also said she takes pictures of my kids from my online post and then posts them to look like a doting grandmother.
That's horrible.
That beast.
Sneaky.
It's all these Hollywood parents, though, on both sides. The Menendez, really rich Hollywood parents, and then you have Rosie. I would argue, Rosie's probably worse than the Menendez parents.
Yeah, it sounds like she.
I don't know.
I think the Menendezes would have met their grandkids.
No, I don't.
They would have showered them with gifts and stuff.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
They
know.
would have spoiled them.
I don't know. How do you feel about Menendez, the Menendez brothers?
I don't believe them.
I don't either.
I
I
don't
think-
believe a word they say.
I think they're guilty.
Oh, I think they're horribly guilty.
I think they're guilty as fuck. I think they killed them for the money.
Yes,
I
me
really
too.
do.
Yeah.
And I think if they were molested by the dad, why'd they blow the mom's head off?
That's what I don't get.
But nobody talks about that.
You don't get to kill people just because you're molested anyway. So
I mean, it depends, but in my opinion,
It does
at least.
depend, but when you're 21 and 18 and you have the ability to either leave or tell an authority figure when you're an adult, I mean, you don't take.
Yeah, they're 21
You're not a
but they're-
judge, jury, and executioner.
Their argument was that they were about to be killed by both their mom and their dad, which is just insanely stupid.
And the 20-year-old had a toupee. I mean, that's
That was the best part about it.
it's unacceptable.
Yeah, that is an ugly bald man.
That's what I'm most upset about is that he's going to
gonna
get
have
out. I think he's going to have a huge head of hair when he gets out.
Yeah, he's just gonna have Phil Spector wigs. Just murderer
Or he's
wigs.
going to have transplants, like the best transplant people, just give him this amazing head of hair.
I mean, it's like OJ. If you let him out, they're probably not going to do it again. I mean, that's
No.
true.
No, they'll do something else though, like OJ.
Yeah, that's true.
They're gonna go look for their murdering costumes.
Yeah, robbing people for their.
I really believe that they'll start a foundation like we were talking about.
No, they
and
will.
that
To embezzle from?
People will throw money at them so they can advocate for other inmates or something.
They'll be
love money.
influencers.
They
I think
love
they will
money.
in no
and
time.
They
Oh,
need
yeah.
money. Yeah.
If Manson got out, I would have followed him.
Oh, Manson should have got out.
Yeah.
Just to
Imagine
see
the
what would
great-
The only one.
happen.
I can't think of anybody who would make better TikTok dancing videos than Charles Manson. Those
Oh, it would've
would
been
been great.
Yeah, he was.
just
I mean,
like
his
Britney
parole
Spears.
hearings. His parole hearings were second to none.
They wouldn't be.
Baby, won't you light my fire?
Dave, they wouldn't be that crazy.
Yeah, that's
That'd
true.
be insane.
I love that he just showed up to his first parole hearing. He's like, yeah, maybe I'll carve a swastika in my forehead. That'll work.
I just remembered Ron Goldman. Isn't Kitty Menendez kind of the Ron Goldman of this case? I mean, if Nicole had stabbed or done something to OJ, would it have been okay for him to kill Ron Goldman? No.
No, not at all.
If Ron Goldman was just standing there,
If he was
watching TV,
he's claiming that he brought his. Well, he didn't claim, but the idea was he was bringing the sunglasses over, wrong place and wrong time. But I think we know he was probably having sex with Nicole.
Yeah.
And that may have upset the juice if he did it. I mean, we don't know. No one will ever know.
no, of course not.
No, OJ was always.
No, he only had DNA from her house to his house.
Right. Well, that was the problem. Is what was it? Mark Furman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Decided he's like, I'll just add blood to all this blood, so now he's innocent. Why don't you just leave all the blood, Mark?
I wonder what Mark Furman really did.
Yeah.
I mean, my gut tells me it is. I thought it was odd that he noticed that little thing of blood on OJ's Bronco. I mean, it was a little sliver of blood. It could have been great police work. He found the glove
Yes.
over the fence where the 3 knocks came. OJ climbed over the fence very clumsily, and then bam, 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 whatever that was, and then
the air conditioner.
yeah, which got Cato going. But I don't know. Did Mark Furman really? I mean, OJ had bloody socks. There was blood in the
blood
drain.
everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
I
There
don't
was
think
blood
it's
on the
that hard to
gate.
find
There was,
it.
There was
Yeah.
blood on the light bulb in the car. There was blood. I mean,
He had cuts all over him. He had to call the limo driver to say he was washing all his wife's blood off of him.
Cuts on the back of his hand too.
Yeah,
right?
he's like, oh, I broke an ashtray.
that was when he was told, and he was so mad he took a glass and went ah, and then he broke the glass, and he was cleaning up the glass, and he cleans it up with the back of his hand.
Yes.
He got that giant cut.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
That was a huge cut. It was so swollen.
It almost looked like a defense wound.
Yeah, it's almost like he was murdering someone.
Or 2 people.
Yeah.
They call me Juice, the Juice.
What do you think about it? It is a 47-year-old guy. I wonder, they made him out to be so arthritic and so hopeless,
Yes.
but he beat the shit out of 2 people.
Oh, yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, Ron
40
Goldman was a 27-year-old guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. But I mean, 47's not that young. And I mean, he was insane. He did a lot of coke.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely had CTE.
He was really pissed, too.
He was very.
Well, he also had the element of surprise.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, it's pretty huge.
Only he knew his plan.
Yeah. He was always very
Well-
understanding of Nicole's relationships with other guys too.
Oh yeah, and was it AJ Cowling or whatever?
AC.
AC
Buddy.
Cowling, yeah, it was
AC, yeah.
AC, yeah, who decided we'll just go on a 40 30-mile-an-hour speed chase down the freeway.
That was classic.
One of the best 911 calls ever.
Oh, let's play that because Al Cowlings thinks that the 911 operator who answers should know who he is.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that the part we found appalling?
Yeah, because
He was mad. He got mad at the operator.
Imagine having a bruised ego in that moment.
Well, he's trying to pull a "Don't you know who I am" move.
Exactly.
Numbers, no.
Yeah.
No, I got to find the phone full call because
OJ
I
was
only
here.
have the.
My name is AC. You know who I am, goddammit.
Why would I know who AC is?
Do all of you have letters? They say acronyms?
Yes.
No, it's just a random call to 911. You don't know which operator's picking up.
No.
No, that was great.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's a great car, that Bronco, though.
Yeah.
Missed those.
Made a comeback.
Yeah,
They're
they
doing
really
well
did.
now.
All right, here we go.
They had to wait a while till that whole murder thing was forgot about.
911, what are you reporting? This is AC. I have OJ in the car. Okay, where are you? Please, I'm coming up the 5 freeway. Okay. Right now, we are okay, but you gotta tell the police to just back off. He's still alive, but he got a gun to his head. Okay, hold on a minute. Monica? He just want to see his mother. Let me get him to the house. Okay, hold on a moment.
Of course, they have to transfer him.
Yes.
I love the idea of calling 911 and having the police chase back off.
I know, it's fun. I love
Okay,
it.
where are you?
Yeah, they're like,
Is
ease up,
everything
guys.
else
He's on the
okay?
phone.
Everything right now is okay.
He's giving
Everything
orders.
is okay. All about he wants to get it to his mom. He wants to get it to his house. Okay. So that's all we ask. He got a gun to his head. Okay. Listen, what's your name? My name is AC. You know who I am. God damn it. Okay. All right.
Fuck
so
you.
hold on just a moment.
Sorry, I'm in a windowless office. I've been watching TV.
What a dick.
He's
That's such a great
How did he get
animal.
such an ego so fast?
He's like, did you hang up? I got a gun to my head.
Wow.
Yeah, he hung up.
That's
Was
hilarious.
that Monica?
Did OJ really have a gun to his head?
I don't believe
I don't think
No, I don't think he was going to kill himself.
Didn't he have disguises?
Yeah, he had a disguise.
Yeah.
he had money.
Money.
He had a bunch of white face. Blonde hair dye. They were headed for the Mexican border like Scott Peterson.
He's got Cato's ID.
Yeah. Just long
Scott-
hair, long
Bleached
flowing.
blonde hair.
Just looks like David Spade.
Scott Peterson, is that trial going to happen? Is that because
Yeah.
there really was a little momentum there?
Yeah, there was
For a
some
minute.
movement 2 weeks ago about it, yeah.
But we didn't think the Menendez brothers. I mean, if you guys were younger, you know what at that time was like. There's no way they're ever getting out.
Oh, yeah.
And John Hinckley too is another one. I can't believe that guy got out. So when it comes to
I
Scott
have his
Peterson,
album. I have his record.
wait, Hinckley,
Hinckley put out a record.
Yeah.
you have it?
Yes, and I have it. My friend gave it to me as a gift.
Wow, is it? How is it?
Terrible.
We've heard a couple of his tracks.
Yeah, we've played his songs before.
Very high energy. Lots
Yeah.
of beats per minute.
The kind of guy that might shoot you over Jodie Foster.
I know. I'm just inclined to think that if I were a psychiatrist, I would think all this is kind of a bad idea.
Right.
Them trying to do concerts and, getting trolled online by people selling merch.
Yeah.
That sound familiar?
Yeah, if like Catcher in the Rye threw you off, do you think it's a good idea to go to concerts and deal with the internet?
No, I mean, it's
No,
absolutely nuts.
Hey, you guys are being too tough on him. Admit you would have thought he would have snapped by now.
Sorry to Jodie Foster.
You got to admit, he's kept it together for a couple of years.
Yeah,
He's done all right. He's
has.
done all right.
He's
But
been
he-
shit on a lot, too.
But
That
he's
guy's going to
hawking-
snap any second.
But he's pulling the Hunter Biden. He's hawking his paintings every day because I follow him on Twitter because he's a great Twitter follow. And he always sells the same two pictures, a picture of a cat or a picture of a house. They're horrible pictures, but he sells them for $50 a pop and they just keep buying them and
What would you
buying
rather
them,
have, a
buying
Hunter
them.
Biden or a Hinckley?
Hank Dog?
I'd
would
take
too.
a Hinckley.
I think his
I do.
picture.
Hinckley,
I mean,
yeah.
just strictly based on how they look, I think his look better.
Just to look nice in your home, a Hinckley would be a lot.
Yeah, I think a Hinckley would have more value.
You just have like a Hinckley, a Gacy, a Dahmer.
Oh, those Gacy clowns were pretty popular.
Those are
Yeah, they
terrible,
were.
though. Who
Were.
wants clowns? That's weird.
Yeah, clowns is weird, especially
bet.
from a clown that murdered people.
Yeah, and it's painted on felt. Yeah. felt planing.
People love murderers.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. I mean, true crime is. Yeah, I mean, I'm stuck on it. I mean, I watch the ID channel a ton, but I was talking to somebody about the Scott Peterson thing. You're going, there's no way he'd get out, and I was like, I don't know. After seeing, what's going on with the Menendez brothers and O.J. Simpson, it just seems like it's almost meant to be.
And it's so bizarre, though, because when you look at all the evidence, it's like, yeah, I went and decided I would buy a boat and go fishing.
And not tell anyone.
And not tell anybody about it. And then decide to take my wife for a Christmas Eve boat ride.
Well, he says he didn't take her for a boat ride, but we know he did because exactly where he said he was going to go. He said, well, if he took her there, then she'd probably come ashore here, which is where she comes ashore with a baby.
Well, once again, who else has motive to kill a pregnant woman?
Yeah, and
walking their dog.
Depends how mouthy they are.
He really sort of underestimated the amber factor.
Yes, he did.
Oh, but they're trying to act like the guys robbing the house across the street killed her.
No, it's like
that's what thieves love to do.
No,
it's the guy who was having an affair, trying to start a new life, and just bought a boat. I think he might have murdered her.
Yeah,
and then he went to. This is when he showed up at the Mexican border.
Yes, the golf course. Yeah.
How shady do you have to be that they won't let you into Mexico?
Yeah, with like bleach blonde hair and stuff. Like
two IDs. Yeah.
No, I mean, these are so obvious. I feel like it's way too hard to convict people. If you watch enough true crime, you go, oh my God, they got this. And like, oh, we don't have the murder weapon though. It's like, oh my God, what do you have to have? I mean, how many people have a motive to kill a certain person?
Yeah, but any of that plausible deniability or whatever it is, or the what is it? Sorry, I said that wrong. But reasonable doubt. Sorry, the reasonable doubt is the one thing.
Yeah,
but there's no reasonable doubt.
It's got to be reasonable though.
Yeah, but with the Menendez, I don't see any reasonable doubt.
No, there's nothing. It just seems like if the right people want someone out, they get out. And it's Kim Kardashian.
Yes.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Garagos is the attorney.
And TikTok.
Very good. TikTok, yeah. And Rosie O'Donnell. There's a few other celebs. And it seems like you never hear from anyone who says, this is bullshit until, who's it, Sharon Osbourne? Yeah, Sharon Osbourne and Judge Judy.
Yes.
And then it's like, yeah, but whatever. Who cares what they think?
But like Eric and Lyle just cleaned their parents' brains off of a white sofa, left it there, and were handing out Halloween candy. Like they weren't compassionate people. And then you look at like the West Memphis 3, who rotted in jail forever, that were completely innocent. And then you go, it's the kid's dad. We all know it's the kid's dad who did it, but they still made them sign a guilty thing, so that guy just walks among us.
Mm-hmm. Wait, the West Memphis 3. I'm not real familiar with that story.
Okay, it was the documentary. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but it was 3 guys in
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost was the documentary. Yeah, Damien Eccles was the book I read that he wrote.
I was really impressed for a second.
I wrote Damien Eccles' book, everybody. No, I read that, but he was on death row, and one of the guys was about to get killed on death row, and they said, "Look, you have to sign this thing. It says you're guilty, so you can't sue the state of Arkansas, and then we'll let you out." So they had to do it.
It was the guy's dad that did it?
It was the kid's dad who did it.
And so he just, no big deal. He's just out there.
He's just out there because they didn't want to get sued. And every time you would see these protests, you'd have Slash and Bono, for example, trying to get this kid out. And then you'd have one person that was protesting to keep him in jail, and it was the kid's dad. Who just looks like a huge
his own dad. The victim's dad? Or
the victim's dad, the victim's stepdad. Like, they're all positive that he did it, but he's still just walking amongst us.
I don't know enough about this case. So when these 3 guys got out, didn't people go, hey, why are those 3 guys out?
Yep. No, a lot of people did, but the deal was, look, we had to sign a guilty plea, so we technically are guilty of murder, so they can shut the case.
It just seems odd that they would be free without some explanation, some reasonable explanation.
It would seem odd, yeah. Other than you just can't sue us. Sorry, we were wrong and kept you on death row since you were kids.
Right, because they were falsely imprisoned.
How long were they on death row?
Oh, God, 20 years, if not maybe longer,
these guys
15 years maybe.
These guys are white, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No wonder I never hear about this. By the way, I have a question that involves race. Was watching Aaron Glenn. Have you been following the Lions?
I have.
Been great, right?
It was amazing last night.
Oh, incredible game. Anyway, Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, has these glasses with 1 million raindrops on them.
Yeah.
You seen the pictures?
Yeah, I saw when they were talking about him during the game.
I only saw it because of Antonio Brown.
He needs an umbrella holder, obviously. And so I was thinking about umbrella holders because we just saw E.J. Johnson, Magic Johnson's gay son.
Yes, Tragic Johnson.
He's got an umbrella holder. He does.
Really?
He has an umbrella holder. Diddy had one. There's the picture. Diddy had one. Michael Jackson had an umbrella holder. And I was thinking, are there any white people that have umbrella holders? Is that just a black thing?
I've never seen one till right now, so I'm going to guess it's not a very. I'm going to guess it's a more urban apparel deal.
Mark, can you think of anybody?
No, off the top of my head, no.
Where's the? So that just goes on his head to hold the umbrella?
Oh no, he doesn't have one.
It's an
I
actual
think he
human
needs
being
one.
that holds one. I think we first noticed it. Well, Jackson was a white guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like a hat.
No, see if we can find the Jackson one.
No, I just feel like the defensive coordinator for the Lions deserves an umbrella holder.
I do too.
But then I was thinking about, well, E.J. Johnson has a fucking umbrella holder. We just saw him last week, and he has a white guy umbrella holding for him too.
Yeah.
Which he gets off on.
I just figured. Oh yeah,
And there's Michael. He's always had them.
he always had an umbrella.
There, see, there's a white guy.
He always had an entourage
That's
at 15. Well, yeah, you don't want to rent that off.
Yeah, I feel like I want to Google who has had an umbrella holder. It's a pretty select group.
Yes. How weird is it that he's probably innocent with all the stuff that's come out? Like
Him?
Yeah, of all the people that we're going to release, well, you can't now, but I don't think he was guilty.
Michael?
No.
What makes you think he's not guilty?
I think because he was trying to protect the kids. He was out in the open about it. Corey Feldman and all these people have sworn that he didn't do it, including Macaulay Culkin. I really think.
Well, yeah, that's a big feather in his cap that I was around Macaulay Culkin all the time and I never molested him.
Yeah.
How could I be a pedophile?
Yeah. I mean, look at him. He's so tempting.
So tempting.
I mean, I wanted to all the time, but I didn't. We rode the teacups.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know why did he pay a kid $23 million to shut up? That's a lot of money. I mean,
That's true.
1993.
He did.
He did. His sister said he wrote a lot of checks. I don't know.
I don't know. I think that there's a chance, though, after we're finding out all this stuff, that he may not, because he spent a lot of his own money just like on charity, like maybe it was.
I felt he was
Perfect
grooming
cover,
us.
Dave. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's grooming
I
the
felt
world.
he was the Hall of Fame groomer.
He groomed Dave
Groomed
Landau.
the world.
Yeah, a little bit. I danced at the beginning of his concerts.
I mean, the fact that he dressed them just like him and took them on tour.
The one
He's
thing
guilty
that,
of something.
the one
pretty
thing that was
weird.
weird, though, with the parents, if that was true, where he's like, we're going to stay at this place in Ireland and you'll be staying in Paris. Yeah.
No, and he had a special house at Neverland for the parents stay here, and he's going to stay with me because he wants to sleep in my room. They always want to sleep in my room. It's crazy.
It's
You
a
sleep
lot.
over here.
I don't know, though, with all these monsters coming out, it just seems like it's plausible.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that don't think he's guilty.
I used to think he was very guilty right up until the last year.
What changed your mind?
Honestly, it was just the Diddy stuff and everything coming out and what people say about him, where with Diddy and everybody else, they're pretty open right now with what he's done, and it's pretty obvious. Not that it's not obvious to have a tilt-a-whirl at your house and give cotton candy to
And like
kids.
the best amusement park in the world, and talking flowers.
And remember all the trap doors and the automatic locks and the alarms.
And a series of bells. But a lot of the stuff was disproven, though, that was in that documentary.
What about the choo-choo train?
We have super soakers. We have
Super
stink
soakers.
He was just referring to one of the kids.
Super soakers are really high tech. They got some really great ones now.
Oh, man, you can squeeze them, give them milk.
I never bought the second childhood thing. It's like, how long does he have to have a fucking childhood? A childhood is only like 7, 8, 10 years, and he's 56 and he's still having childhood.
Richard Pryor, though, was like that because he didn't have a tilt-a-whirl. But Richard Pryor, though, because he grew up in a whorehouse, he had a pony, he had a monkey, like he had all this stuff that he wanted from when he was a kid because he just grew up in a brothel with.
I remember
no
that
childhood.
documentary too, The Toy.
Yeah, you remember that? It was great. The least racist movie ever, where they're like, "I want the black janitor," and he's like, "How much are you?"
So wild.
Hey, what about the list you were running down, Mark, when Dave came down?
Oh, well, yeah, I just...
The best 80s sitcom episodes ever?
It's a YouTube channel about, it's called My So-Called Gen X Life, and they put out the 10 very special episodes that traumatized 80s kids.
Yeah.
And some of these are classic, man.
Oh, yeah.
Let me switch this.
No, you can think of some immediately. Like I thought of the Saved by the Bell. I'm so excited.
Yep.
I'm
Oh,
so excited.
That falls out of it though, because that was in the 90s.
Oh, that's on the outside looking in because of the year.
But number 10 is.
she was hooked on caffeine pills.
That's right. Yeah.
And then
That's a good memory.
Yeah,
Who was hooked on caffeine pills?
It was Kelly.
Not Kelly.
Elizabeth
Kelly.
Berkley's
Elizabeth
character.
Berkley.
I forget her name.
Jesse Spano.
Yeah,
Are
Jesse
caffeine
Spano.
pills a big problem?
No, I don't think.
They were in 92.
I think the movie she did after was a big problem.
That's a great movie.
Yes.
Showgirls?
Yeah, Kyle MacLachlan banging her in a pool. I'm sure.
Oh, that's right. She was
She's-
off to such a good start.
She's from Berkeley, Michigan, I think.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Or
Yeah,
Farmington,
this area,
I think.
yeah.
Is she or maybe it's Berkeley? No, she's
What's her
Elizabeth
name?
Berkley.
She's Berkeley.
Yeah, I think Southfield maybe. Yeah.
Either way, it was a good moment for her.
All right, here's number 10.
Webster was a sitcom about a former pro football player and wealthy socialite,
Former Lion.
played by real-life couple Alex Karras and Susan Clark, who adopt their adorable godchild, played by Emmanuel Lewis, after his parents pass away in a car accident. Shortly into the second season, there was a scary episode
his
where
family
Webster
was killed
accidentally
in an
burned down the
accident.
family's
I didn't either.
high-rise
Pretty
Chicago
tragic.
apartment with a science kit.
Remember when Webster
There was
burned
also
down
an
their
episode
apartment?
where a kid who was living with his mom after a divorce was kidnapped by his dad. But they really went for it with a very special episode.
Think of all the shit Webster's
Why, he was
seen, man.
kidnapped by his dad?
Well, Webster's friend was, and then he lit the apartment on. Which, if they were like Rosie O'Donnell, they just returned Webster.
Was he the security guard? The guy that ended up... Didn't he end up working security?
Who?
Emmanuel Lewis? One of them did.
You know what? I
thinking
think
of
that
Gary
was
Coleman.
Gary Coleman.
Coleman's TV
bad.
brother worked security, didn't he?
Todd Bridges?
Todd
no,
Bridges.
Coleman did
Todd
security too.
Yeah, Todd Bridges got hooked on crack. I remember that.
Yeah.
Coleman he was into security. That's true.
Now I don't remember this Webster episode, but this gets pretty
in this
wild.
season 2 titled The Uh-Oh Feeling. As the show
What do you guys think the uh-oh feeling is?
As Webster tells his classmate Beth, played by future Days of Our Lives star Allison Sweeney, that he really liked their new math tutor named Mr. Todson.
Ooh.
She doesn't
so
feel
it's
the
Webster's
same way.
fault?
As the unseen teacher dismisses the class, he tells Beth that he wants her to stay and sends Webster away.
He said, I heard, but it's okay. My day is tomorrow. Yeah. Well, see ya. Bye.
Webster, you can't leave her.
Close the door, honey.
Oh, God.
Yeah, boy.
Can you imagine the studio audience?
On his way out
up.
of school,
Start
Webster
cheering.
realizes he's still carrying Beth's books. So he goes back to the classroom
Oof, the
and
teacher must be
overhears
so
Beth's
fucking pissed at
objections
him
to
right
touch
now.
him and tickle
And
him.
hard.
You to leave.
And I'm so proud of you. And now that we're friends, why not be a good little girl and give Mr. Todson a big hug?
Ew.
Okay.
Oh, what a nice
Wait,
hug.
should that be suspicious to Webster? Big hug.
The whole time this
Look how it's frozen on
This
his
guy getting
face.
falsely accused.
the voiceover's going on, and Webster's got the door cracked. I mean, Mr. Todson's not aware that the door's been opened.
Right. I'm sure he's keeping an eye on the door.
I'm an advocate for the teacher.
Yeah.
I think it's a frame up.
They don't get paid enough. Let them have one.
Tickling me there.
Webster's quick thinking leads him to
Quick
yell at the
thinking?
door to tell Beth that their ride is waiting.
There's nothing quick
While Miss-
about
Quick
this.
thinking. He could have at least gone, like they made himself known.
His quick thinking was to close the door and stand quietly in the hallway.
That's what he's doing.
Hodson warns Beth not to tell anyone about their little secret, or else her parents won't like her
This is a little
anymore.
fucking
and she'll
tickling.
get into big trouble.
Jesus.
Beth, it's me, Webster. Len and George outside. They came to pick us up. They said come right away. I'm coming.
Beth,
So is
got
Mr.
to tell a little
Todson.
secret. Trust me. If you tell your mother and dad,
I'll kill
they're not
them.
going to like you anymore, and they're going to be very mad at you.
That's Webster's imagination.
And I'll kill them.
I'll kill your sister. Go tell Webster.
Nothing's wrong with her. Look, she looks fine.
Do you think Webster
Yeah,
tells?
she doesn't look disheveled.
Do you think,
On top of it, look at what she's wearing, whore.
That is really bullshit. Yeah. What she's wearing, Mike.
Pigtails teasing him.
she's asking for it.
Okay, I promise.
You don't want to get tickled. Don't
That
dress so
night,
sexy.
at dinner with George and Ma'am,
Now, Webster's not supposed to
wasn't
tell.
interested in talking about Mr. Todson.
No snitching.
He went so far as to fake being sick to avoid going to school the next
And
day.
hiding in a
And ends
closet.
up terrified in his closet, refusing to go.
What?
And when Webster's found by his parents, he finally tells them about his tutor.
And then he said moms and daddies get mad, and Beth made me promise not to tell. And I did promise, and tomorrow was my turn, and today's tomorrow.
Oh, honey, I know.
So it's really not about saving her. He just doesn't want Mr.
As
Todson to
George's
tickle
anger
him.
swells, Webster says he's worried about getting into trouble for telling on his teacher, but his parents assure him that he did the right thing. Then
What do you think we
they tell
adopted
Beth's
you
mom
for?
what happened, but she refuses to believe Webster's story. Still, George and Ma'am contact the authorities,
who doesn't
call
believe
the
him?
Center for Child Abuse, and bring in a
I don't
therapist
think
to
George
talk
and
to
Ma'am
Webster
believed
and
him.
his class about good, bad, and confusing touches.
There are some touches that are good touches.
Yeah.
Like a
and there are
tickle.
some touches
Yes.
that are
Like this.
bad touches. And there are some touches that are just plain confusing.
Let me show you
Sometimes
the
a good
clip.
Like a
touch
finger
can
in the
turn
butt.
into a bad touch. And then you
You
start
can
to
work
think,
the rim.
I'm not sure I like this anymore. Now,
How do you know
Well, what
for
a
sure
hatchet
when a
job.
touch is really bad?
Can you believe that this lady's talking to this class?
Is this her job?
At this age?
Can you give me a small chair to tell them about rape?
Appropriate.
I want to get down to their eye level.
Okay, what number was that?
That was 10. Okay, do you remember Silver Spoons? Because I
Yes.
love Silver Spoons.
Ricky Schroeder, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
He
yeah.
became a detective probably because of this very episode.
Oh, yeah, that's right. NYPD Blue.
That's funny you say that because he really does
For
his
Silver
detective
Spoons
work.
is having one of the greatest
comes out in
houses in
this
sitcom
episode.
history, a mansion filled with video arcade games and a train that ran right through the living room. But the show is about a kid named Ricky Stratton, played by Rick Schroeder, who goes to live with his wealthy, eccentric father that he never knew, who happened to own a toy company. Silver Spoons had a few special episodes that tackled topics like teen pregnancy, drinking, and drugs. But in late season 2, they brought their very best with the episode titled Spare the Rod. It begins with Ricky's new friend Toby explaining that he broke his arm because he fell out of a tree when he was trying to
How do
save
you
a
think he
cat.
really broke his arm?
Cut to Toby and Ricky
dad
playing
must have
ball in
beat
the
him.
house, and they cause Kate's birthday present to break.
His arm's just
and Mr.
tired.
Stratton yells at Ricky. This bums Ricky out, but Toby thinks that he got off easy. Then he suddenly opens up and tells Ricky that he's a victim of abuse at the hands of his father. Toby confesses that he didn't break his arm attempting to save a cat. Instead, that injury was
nice
a result
making
of his
himself a
dad's
hero.
reaction
I know.
to Toby forgetting to take out the trash.
That's kind of
He then
bullshit.
swears Ricky to
stolen valor. You
secrecy,
deserve your
threatening
broken
to
arm.
Exactly.
pull out his nose hairs one by one should Ricky ever tell anyone.
See, once again,
And
you're
this
supposed to
leaves
keep
Ricky
quiet.
conflicted. The next day, Toby shows up at the Stratton house with a scarf covering his face. And when Ricky pulls
He's
it
not
off,
covering
it's
it very
revealed that Toby's
well.
face is covered with bruises.
Why would you cover your eye
Toby
with a
tells
scarf?
a story about falling off of a fence, but Ricky calls him out, and the truth about Toby's dad is revealed.
Isn't your dad
Toby
a drunk?
is adamant that it's his fault, and he's a screw-up. So his dad has to be tough on him so he can learn how to behave. Toby doesn't
See,
want
he
his
gets
dad
it.
to get in
Wait
trouble.
till you see this
but Mr. Stratton
confrontation.
still invites him over for a chat.
It's called parenting up
Of
until
course, he denies the
2005.
abuse allegations, but we also get to see his violent temper when Mr. Stratton shares a story
wanna
about
see
a
this.
kid who was beaten to death by his dad.
Toby got the bruises from you. You hit him.
Are you accusing me of beating up my own son?
Look, I know there are reasons these
Did
things
Toby
happen.
tell you I hit him?
I think we should discuss the
I'm
situation.
not going to listen to this crap.
Just
I
sit
hit
down,
him
Larry,
until I
okay? Here's
come.
your drink.
Forget it.
Oh! Whoa!
I remember last year there was a kid came into the hospital. He was pretty banged up. And the doctors found out that his father had been beating him. They reported it, and the case went to court, and the father swore up and down that he would never do that again. So the judge gave him the benefit of the doubt. And then a month later, he lost control and hit his son again.
Sounds like somebody beat the fuck out of the judge.
Found himself right back in court. Only this time, he was on trial for murder.
Whoa!
Toby's dad then breaks down and
this is
admits
a
he has
heavy little
problem.
sequence.
It
And while
really
they probably
is.
should call the police
I
or
know.
child protective
That's the thing you need to remember. This is a sitcom.
Yeah.
This is the whole
But you're
thing.
watching with your family.
Toby should have just shot him like the Menendez brothers.
And at this time, half of America is like, Dad, you do that to me. Why is this a special episode?
I'm going to skip over the next one is Full House, and the one
I
girl
remember
has,
that
has
one.
an eating disorder, whatever.
Well, the Full House one, too, when the kid did get hit, he got slapped by his dad, and they brought it up, and I was like, what's the problem? I didn't understand. I'm like, you're having the kid taken away for this?
Who got slapped on Full House?
It was the kid who was ran over by the truck in Pet Cemetery, who had the baby shoes on the road. It was
Oh, wow.
Michelle's friend.
Wait, the shoes came off when he got run over?
Yeah, it was with his feet in them.
You should have
The original.
tied him tighter.
Jesus Christ.
I'm having a lot of arguments about should people's shoes always come off in
The
accidents.
feet were still in them. There's nothing you could do.
Dave, Drew thinks his shoes would not come off if he was in an accident. If he got
Well,
hit by a car.
It's
If it
possible.
If it was
No,
going
it's
like
not. They would
25, I don't think my
fly
shoes would come
off.
off.
They always fly off.
I've been hit by a few cars.
Shoes fly off?
No.
Well, you probably tie them tight.
No, I tied them tight back in the day when I got hit by 6 cars in my adolescence.
What?
I did.
No way. 6 cars.
Yeah, I got hit by a van. I got hit by a guy who was pulling out of a jewelry store, and I flew across the front of his Jaguar, which I thought would have ended up like blank check, but he just smelled like booze and drove away.
Blank check. I love that movie.
I had a lady. We were all crossing the street on our bikes, and a lady in a Cadillac just slammed into us.
What?
Yeah, I got hit by 6 cars. Well, the 6th one was my fault. We were drunk at the Golden Buddha when we were like 17, 16, and everybody's trying to push a car out of snow, and I was like, I'll pull it because I was hammered. So I got in front of the car, so that was my fault.
I think the driver might have had an inkling that could happen.
He did, yeah. I only got pinned in a snowbank for a few seconds.
What episode are we on, Mark?
Let's we'll just jump to number 6, and this is a classic one. This is Mr. Belvedere. This is the famous AIDS.
Mr.
AIDS in a
Belvedere was no
sitcom?
stranger
Yeah.
to serious subject matter during its 5
I
seasons.
bet they have jokes where people
There were
laugh
episodes that
during the
dealt with
episode, too.
molestation,
They always
drinking
do.
and driving, and Alzheimer's. However, Mr. Belvedere broke some serious ground with the season 2 episode, Wesley's Friend. In the cold open, Wesley is bummed out because he's stuck playing William Howard Taft in the school's President's Day pageant.
Oh, that sucks.
He wishes he had a better
Fat
part in the
president.
show. And the opportunity suddenly presents itself for Wesley to play one of the
looks like
stars,
Buster Keaton.
Abraham Lincoln. The problem is, he's getting the chance to play Lincoln because his friend Danny caught something called AIDS, and his parents had him removed from school. Cue the opening theme song.
Supposed to
Caught
play Lincoln,
AIDS?
but his parents had to come and take him home. Why? He got caught with this stuff called AIDS.
I win.
Oh my God. Boy, he must really be in trouble.
Chick's having a joke.
That's how the show started. Fades to black, and then the intro.
What the fuck?
Oh my God.
It turns out that Danny was a hemophiliac who had contracted AIDS as a result of receiving infected blood.
Duh.
This was the same
that's
way
what he
that Ryan
says.
White was infected, an Indiana
We
teenager
know
who
that
was
kid was
expelled
going to
from school in
nightclubs
the
and glory
80s
holes.
when he contracted AIDS from a blood transfusion. Since it's 1985 in this episode, everyone in town is misinformed about AIDS, and the kids at school think they can get it just by going to Danny's house, touching him, or by drinking out of the same glass.
I by the way, I wanted to pause here because I ended up watching some of this episode, and this scene here where they're all eating around the lunch table. There's 3 white guys and a black kid, and the black kid goes, "Oh, that's pretty cool. You get to be Abraham Lincoln now." And Wesley goes, "Yeah, and if you give me that cupcake, I'll set you free."
Really?
What?
You can get away with more in the 80s.
You know, just in defense of the kids, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you don't know much about AIDS.
No, he
You want to
didn't.
go over to somebody's house that has AIDS in 1985?
Oh, no one
Now,
knew.
in fairness, he was very informed on slavery before making that joke.
They even heard Danny's body parts would start to fall off. To make things worse, a lot of this information comes from the parents.
Yeah, because a doctor
When
told
Danny
him.
comes over to the Owens home to give Wesley his Lincoln costume, George asks how he's doing, to which Danny
And
replies,
if he washed the
Well, I got
costume.
AIDS, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
Sadly, with all the misinformation that he's heard, Wesley doesn't want to wear the Lincoln costume and wants Danny to stay away from him. The family has a
Other
discussion
than
through which
3
viewers
days to
learn that
live.
AIDS is contracted through sexual contact, infected needles, and contaminated
Don't
blood.
wear the outfit.
Still, Mr. Belvedere and Mr. and
Well, you're
Mrs.
gonna
Owens
die
are
like
concerned,
Lincoln.
knowing that Wesley and Danny shared ice cream, had a tendency to roughhouse all the time, and sometimes even get scraped up.
You better get
I
him
know,
tested.
it's kind of weird, but it was 1985.
Keep him in the attic
Anyway,
if it's
in the
positive.
process, there is informative information about pediatric AIDS, and Mr. Belvedere even contacts the CDC. Wesley then has a change of heart and
Well,
invites
he's the
Danny
butler.
to do the Lincoln part with him in the pageant. The kids and parents are nervous when Danny takes the
patient
stage.
zero
One
equal
parent
to
even shouts for their
CDC.
kid to get away from Danny. Danny ends up not remembering the Gettysburg Address, but he does remember this quote from Lincoln.
If the good people, in their wisdom, shall see fit to keep me in the background, I have been too familiar with disappointments to be very much chagrined.
And I have
Thank
AIDS.
you.
Yeah.
Well, I got AIDS, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
Parents applaud. It was a legit teaching moment.
Oh, a hug.
A legit.
Not a good call.
No, he probably got it.
We
In the 80s, nobody would have been okay with that.
No way.
They would have been like, don't hug him. What are you doing?
What
You
if
didn't hug the black kid, I'll tell you that much.
There's mosquitoes outside. You could get it from them, too.
What are 3, 2, and 1?
Well, you want to see 5? 5's a good one, I'm telling you.
Oh, growing pains?
Yeah, growing pains.
What's it about?
Drugs.
Oh, okay, yeah, drugs has always got to be.
Show me that smile.
Don't waste another minute on your crying.
Growing Pains followed the lives of the Seavers.
Now, will they
a
show the
middle-class
joys of
family
drugs
on
in this
Long
episode?
Island.
I know, they
And the
never
show
do.
had-
Where's the
I
ups?
feel like we're going to be misinformed.
Yeah.
Kind of. I would say
they do?
I will say they. I think they kind of show the. Well, you'll see.
Well, I remember
Chris very-
Kirk Cameron raps with everybody at the end. And I
Yeah.
haven't seen this in 40 years.
God, you nailed it. He does. Yeah, he has his own personal message.
Remember this
that
episode?
dealt with
Yeah.
racism, drunk driving, and death. R.I.P. Matthew Perry. But by far, the most memorable and possibly traumatizing for 80s kids was the season 2 episode, Thank God It's Friday, which dealt with drugs.
So ironic.
Mike and his two best friends, Eddie and Boner, are looking for something to do on a Friday night when
Boner?
they score an
Yeah, his best
invitation
friend
to a
was Boner.
college
Yep.
party. When they arrive, they can't believe that some of the notable Dewey High School alum are in attendance, including two
Boner
girls
has
that they
AIDS
are
in a
all
later
attracted to.
episode.
But there's something else going on at this soiree. People keep going to the bathroom in groups because it turns out there's a ton of cocaine at this party. And apparently the bathroom is the only place to do
Christy
it.
Swanson wants
Mike
to go do
hits on
blow
one of
with
the
him.
girls and
Yeah.
his cheesy pickup lines
The
do the
answer's
trick
yes.
because
Yeah.
she
Fuck
wants
yeah.
to do coke with him. Her friend wants to party too, and
Wait,
the girls
this really
invite
happened?
Mike, Eddie, and Boner
This
to do some
episode?
lines with them.
Look, and Mikey and Boner are all ready to party now. And it's just Mike Seaver.
Wouldn't anyone know that twink Kirk Cameron would never do cocaine?
I know. Don't even tell them. Be like,
No.
we'll
Get him
go.
out of the party.
Yeah.
He
Who
doesn't
would
look-
invite him?
Yeah,
He
get
looks
him
like a
away.
narc.
You two tag Cream Swanson or tag team either way.
Same difference.
Hot tub. Eddie and Boner can't believe their luck. They don't see the harm in doing coke just this once. But Mike wants nothing to do with the situation because that's how drug problems can start. Mike leaves
Please,
the
there's not
party
fentanyl
but
in
gets
it. It's
home
the
late and
80s.
breaks his curfew. His dad is
Peruvian
waiting,
flake.
expecting to hear another one of Mike's
It's
ridiculous
probably really
excuses.
pure.
Oh, it's the
But he's clearly
driven
bummed
snow.
out and tells his dad what happened at the party and that he's worried about what people are going to think about him. Mr. Seaver,
Yeah,
R.I.P.
you should have
Alan
done it.
Thicke, praises Mike's courage and assures him that he did the right thing. Mike starts to head upstairs, but turns around to give his dad a big, dramatic hug. It's then revealed that
Wait, he
Eddie
plays
and Boner
Dad,
stopped
Alan,
by and said that they
Alan
didn't
Thicke,
go to
like
the
he didn't
bathroom.
blow.
Mr.
Oh, you
Seaver's
know he
refused,
did. Oh.
but Mike is thrilled.
The second he was
Now,
out of the
just
room,
when you
Alan
think the
Thicke
episode
rolled
is
up a
over,
dollar
there's
bill.
another scene at the party. But this time, Kirk Cameron comes out as himself with a public service announcement. He tells the audience that drugs aren't cool and that your friends should not try to make you do things that you don't want to do. He assures the audience that
remember
he's
this
not
so
being paid
Oh,
to say
how
those
gay.
words. It's just
Burned into
really
my
how he
head.
feels. And I
Did it have
got
much
with the
effect?
words,
It
how
did.
big of a
This
teen
and
heartthrob
Nancy Reagan is why I did drugs.
Oh, yeah. The Different Strokes episode with a
I was going to say, it didn't seem to help you a whole lot.
No. It encouraged me to be like, oh, yeah, you're pretty lame. I would have just done coke with the hot girl.
I know, she was pretty cute.
Yeah, Christy Swanson, for sure.
Damn right.
Oh, yeah, Small Wonder.
Small Wonder, yeah, which
I
is
think-
a robot kid, and I'll just this one's real quick.
What was the special episode?
God, Dave, you must have watched a lot of TV.
I did. I was raised by it.
knew it as the girl on the milk carton episode. The crazy thing is that whole part of the story doesn't happen till the very end. Let me explain. The episode begins with Jamie and his friend Reggie wanting to enter a journalism contest.
I built
That's
a child.
The A story. The B story is that there's a new girl in school named Chrissy. Jamie and Reggie want to win the contest so badly that they submit a false story that claims the school cafeteria is serving horse meat.
It's
But
really
of
an
course,
episode
they
about
quickly
journalism.
Get into trouble with
Yes.
the principal for submitting a story without any solid proof
But
or
he
fact
made it.
checking.
He made a
But
child
then
and
the
dressed her
episode
like
takes a
Handmaid's
hard
Tale.
left turn into the B story at about the
How weird is
17-minute
this?
mark when Chrissy comes
This
over to
scene
the
is so
Lawson
great.
house at snack time and is surprised when Vicky points out that Chrissy's face is on a milk carton, identified as a missing child.
This is your picture on the milk carton. You're a missing child. No, I'm not. I'm right here. You may be right here, but you're missing. Oh, no. That is me. Why am I in a milk carton? I don't understand. I better go home and ask my dad about
Chrissy is confused and goes
the
home
reason
to
you're on
ask
the
her
milk
father
carton.
about it.
Is that her
And
dad, the
Mr.
black
Lawson
guy?
ends up calling the police. And then Jamie and Reggie make this their news story, and the milk carton is their evidence to back up their
It's
claims.
a good journalistic story.
Chrissy isn't at school the next day because her dad took her on the run again. But in the last minute of the episode, they are caught and Chrissy is returned to her mother. The episode then ends in a freeze frame of a smashed cake on the faces of Jamie and Reggie. It only took 22 minutes in total for everything to get back to normal.
Nothing like a child kidnapping ending with jovial cake.
Oh my God! Well, the Different Strokes one has tons of jokes in it,
And that's
about molestation.
I'll just speed up to that because that's the number
Yeah, that's
one.
really-
and that
that-
is just
it
the
kicks ass.
all-time classic.
What are you skipping over?
There was
Dave's horrified.
There was
I know.
a Punky Brewster where a girl got trapped in the refrigerator.
But again, Punky Brewster, you have this old guy who's from Police Academy who just has a kid.
Really weird, yeah.
Oh, Punky.
And then number 2 was Family Ties.
Not
and,
weird at all. I have a child.
Alex P. Keaton's friend died and he had survivor's guilt.
Oh, I remember that
Yeah,
one.
and they had a special secondary episode with no commercials where he did like a one-man stage play talking to a psychiatrist who never was really out of character.
Boring.
I promise you still remembers it now, 40 years later. And for those of you who haven't watched it, it must be seen to be
It
believed.
is so awesome, this
You
episode
know you're
of
in for it
Strokes.
from the very beginning because
Yeah,
Conrad Bain appears
the
in a
most
rare
different
20-second
Strokes.
cold open to tell the audience that they are going to be covering a sensitive and important subject in the upcoming 2-part episode. He encourages parents to watch with their kids and to discuss the episode afterwards. It all begins innocent enough with the Drummond family visiting Mr. Horton's bike shop after renting bikes. Mr. Horton, who is played against type by the lovable Gordon Jones
Comes
from
up juggling.
WKRP in Cincinnati,
Like all
and
good
later who is
molesters.
the Maytag repairman,
Look at
he
how
enters
friendly
the
I
shop
am.
while juggling oranges and making jokes, making it clear that everyone loves this guy. After some begging from Arnold and a crafty sales pitch from Mr. Horton, Mr. Drummond agrees to buy Arnold a bike for his birthday. An ecstatic Arnold hugs his dad and hugs Mr. Horton.
Go for a
and then
ride
the
and
bicycle
I'll
man
smell
tells
the
him that if
seat.
he passes around flyers at school for a bike sale, he will throw in a free handlebar radio into the deal. Arnold is on it, and so is his best friend, Dudley.
Oh, he throws Dudley
One day,
to the
when
wolves.
Arnold
Yeah,
makes
he
it
really
into the
does.
shop, the audience sees Mr. Horton and a little boy come out of the back room. Then he gives the boy some candy and tells him that it's their little secret. When Arnold shows up, Mr. Horton
How
invites
happy
him to the
Mr.
back
Horton
room,
is.
I know,
which
he's
is
very
actually his
relieved. It's
apartment,
gross.
for some ice cream. Arnold
He's
agrees and walks in.
refracting.
The coolest setup an 80s kid could
Just
imagine.
stains all over the front of his
Toys,
pants.
Video games, comic books, a telescope, and there's also a peephole behind a picture near the door.
Maybe it would be best if you didn't even mention, that you came back here and that I gave you all this ice cream before dinner. Why don't we just make it our little secret?
Yeah.
When Arnold and Dudley
Ooh.
arrive at the shop the next day, Horton takes them into his back room for pizza.
Well, at least they
Within
dressed for the
seconds,
problem.
they are looking at nudie magazines
Yeah,
and
raincoats.
alcohol, and Mr. Horton has manipulated them into participating in a Tarzan-themed photo shoot with no shirt required.
Now we're going to take some pictures and we're going to have another little sip of wine and we're going to take some more pictures. And strike a pose for me there. Yeah, let's see what you
Dudley's
do.
got his shirt up,
Hey,
but
that's
Arnold
great.
doesn't.
Guys, we're just going to have a great time together this afternoon.
This doesn't sound like that much fun
Part
to me.
two starts once again with another PSA from Bane, and then the episode continues with more grooming at the bike shop, complete with X-rated cartoons and Boston cream pie. But Arnold is now
What?
starting to get
Yeah, you
uncomfortable,
heard
and
that.
he leaves. But Dudley
What's with all
stays
the
behind,
food?
and Mr. Horton thinks they're going to have even more fun with
I'm
just
gonna
the
give
two
you
of
some
them.
cream
and then he
pies.
proceeds to fill up the bathtub for a game of Neptune, King of the Sea.
I always thought molesters
Back
wouldn't
at the
want to
Drummond
fill you
penthouse,
up.
Arnold
No, you
finally
would think
tells
it-
his
what a
father what's been
disaster
going
that would
on,
be.
And this immediately puts Mr. Drummond on the phone with the police, and he and Dudley's dad head for the bike shop.
I gotta say, this is the quickest investigation by the police
Sorry,
ever.
Mr. Drummond, I'm just about to close up here. I've had a little problem.
Is this Horton? Yes, it is.
I think you've got a big problem, Mr. Horton.
Now, where's Dudley? Arnold told us that he was here.
The very
in
special
my
episode
apartment.
ends with the police explaining to the Drummond family how pedos operate, and they discuss the difference between pedos and homosexuals. They also make it clear that whenever this happens, it
It's the
is
80s.
never the kid's
Dudley
fault.
comes out shirtless.
This episode gets pretty
And
dark,
very
while still
flustered.
managing to slip in some humor,
And of
mostly
course,
through the
they're
naivety
hugging
of
before he
Arnold and
dresses him.
Dudley. There is no doubt that the Bicycle Man sparked conversations all around the country back in 1983 and traumatized many Gen Xers. It's something that we still remember to this day. And that will do it.
Were we really traumatized?
No.
I think we're confused.
Yeah. Did you ever see, Anthony showed it to me, it was the day they spilled the paint?
No.
And it's like a guy who just walked. You can look it up, but the guy comes over and he's like everybody's favorite neighbor. And then he brings his kid in to paint birdhouses and then just throws paint on him and goes, whoops, we'll have to take your shirt off and get that washed. And then he goes, now let's take a Polaroid to commemorate the day we spilt the paint.
Let's check it out. Let's
And
see if it loads.
he turns
Is
around.
this a TV show?
Yeah, and then he's got like, he takes the Polaroid and puts it on his like garage wall, and it's just 50 other kids.
Oh, God.
By the way, paint really comes out in the wash.
Oh yeah, he's like, he just throws it right on them.
At least, I thought I did. Then, something weird happened to me. It's hard to talk about, but, well, here goes. See, my mom works, so Mom used to pay Mrs. McGregor to keep me at her house after school. There was a
Where
bunch
did
of kids
Anthony
like
see
me at her
this?
house every day.
You and Anthony are sons of the same mother, or
Always
whatever
had
the
treats
term
and
is.
stuff for us kids. And sometimes
Sons of
Mr.
different mothers?
McGregor
Yes.
would come home early. We all liked him.
Brothers of
We
different
called him
mothers.
Mr.
Brothers
Mac.
of different mothers.
And sometimes he'd pick one special boy and take him out to his workshop.
I've got a special job for you today.
Won't that be fun?
He'd take me
I'm
to
in
his
denial.
workshop in the
Wait a
garage
sec,
and
pause
teach me
it.
woodworking.
Was that Mr. McGregor's
Sawing
wife?
I think it was.
She's complicit too?
Yes.
She's like Mrs. Sandusky?
Yeah, she's just turning around. She doesn't, she's like Paterno.
Why not? Yeah, exactly.
He's now cutting the wood, but he's coming right behind him to show him how
Look,
to do it.
the birdhouses are profitable.
I like getting work from the other
He's
kids.
holding his hand.
And Mr. Mac called me his #1 helper.
Slow and steady.
Ew.
That's the way,
Oh,
Jake.
this is especially creepy.
No, dude, it's the creepiest one.
Sometimes I take my shirt off.
Let's take your shirt off.
Mr. Mac said that's what a man does when he's working hard.
Yeah, we'll get you cleaned up.
No.
Cleaned up.
Wait, did Mr. McGregor turn on that ominous music?
Yeah, that's actually his record player.
That's better.
His Victrola.
Oh my God, this guy looks pretty good at this.
Yeah, he's
One
done.
day I was painting this birdhouse I helped build.
Yep, that's really shaping up.
Thanks.
Here, let me help.
Does he spill
Missed a
paint on
spot
him?
right up
See?
there.
He just turns the can on over his shirt.
Really spilled paint
whoops.
all over me and my clothes.
Just take off your clothes. Go on, take them off. I'll help you clean
He
up.
wasn't even subtle about it.
Just dumps it on him. Whoops-a-daisy.
So I did. I mean, I had paint all over me, so it made sense. But then something weird happened.
The whole thing's
Now,
weird, kid.
I'm going to take a picture to remember the day we spilled the paint.
He's still
Don't
Wait, why does he have paint on him again?
Take all
went
the
through
other
his
boys
shirt.
to it.
Oh, okay.
He didn't want that towel.
He had pictures of all the boys in daycare, and they were all.
Wait, why is he showing him the other kids?
He's like, see, everybody.
Make it normal.
He's like, I'm a real mess with paint.
I'm such a
How do you
klutz.
spill paint on everyone?
Just a Butterfingers over here.
Clean up.
Here's the part that's hard to talk about. Mr. Mac touched my penis, and well, I was so surprised, I didn't know what to do. I mean, it didn't hurt or feel bad, but it made me so confused.
There was no paint.
Didn't hurt or feel bad. Isn't he more or less saying, yeah, it kind of felt good?
Yeah, he's like, I enjoyed it. What I'm saying is it's
didn't
my
feel
fault.
good. It felt gross. I always thought I know what to do in a tough spot, but
Wait, are they
when it was
showing him
happening,
beating the kid off? Is that what they're showing there?
Essentially.
Yeah, him touching his penis.
Oh my God.
I tried to act like nothing happened.
Oh, just another kid with a painted shirt.
What happened to me? The pictures,
What happened to your shirt? You
touching,
know.
he was wrong. It was not my fault. It's called sexual abuse.
Yeah, then there was
Oh man.
the 1950s one about homosexuals picking up
Oh,
kids. Have you ever seen that?
That one.
That
is-
one?
Like,
Yeah.
that is a homosexual.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the announcer's perfect for that.
Oh, it's the perfect 1950s voice.
I have to tell you, the best announcer I think I've ever heard is Brandon, the guy who does the reviews for the Steven Seagal movies.
Oh, Space Ice. Yeah.
I was watching. Have you ever heard of this?
Oh, have you seen him lately? No, I haven't.
Weird. Yeah, but Seagal, though, how huge he is. That
Oh,
what
he's
you're saying?
morbidly
Yeah,
obese.
we're talking about it.
It's like 400 pounds. But anyway, Brandon mentioned that this guy reviews Seagal movies, and I thought this guy was really funny. I watched a few this morning. He was reviewing Escape from New York, which is not Seagal, but then I watched a couple other Seagal ones. Is there another good one you can find, Brandon?
Oh, Lord.
I just want Dave to hear this guy that does the voiceover.
Yeah, there's millions of them, but the most popular ones tend to be when he makes fun of Steven Seagal. So here's when he makes fun of Driven to Kill. Let me see if it's going to have an ad, because this guy is very popular. Space Ice on YouTube with 380,000 subscribers.
I had to check him out.
He's really good.
But he does a good cliff notes of these. Let me see.
Yeah, I was absolutely blown away. I was laughing out loud watching.
Driven to Kill is the Steven Seagal documentary where he set out to show the world he's not just an international sex symbol, but one of the greatest minds of his generation as well.
Why does that not surprise me?
That all goes to though, in literally the first line of the movie.
Metal Spike Roulette. Honestly, baby, that was my favorite part of your book.
While I'll never believe Seagal as an award-winning writer, I do believe the best part of his book would be something as stupid as Spike Roulette.
You hide a metal spike under a cup and take turns betting until someone hits the cup with the spike?
Yep. It's as dumb as it sounds. It's also a sensitive subject.
It's a long time ago. We don't really talk about him.
Then why'd you put it in the book? You know that's his girlfriend because he's older than her father and she's dumber than shit.
You know my girlfriend Selena. If you show me this trick, that you'll have both of us.
It's not a trick, you goddamn idiot. It's a 1 in 3 chance of really fucking up your hand. Amazing work, Seagal. You managed to pull off what was the most likely outcome. I'm sure Selena's going to be thrilled that her friend pimped her out so you could see Seagal slap a paper cup.
Oh, she's
how
so
do you
hot
lack
for him.
so much self-awareness that you don't see how stupid all of this is?
The trick was just to not give a fuck.
Seagal is working on his groundbreaking new novel that's made up of nothing but fart sounds, or possibly the script for this movie. They're pretty much identical.
I just think this narrator is awesome.
Oh, it's perfect.
I love this guy.
It's a phone call, and whoever's dubbing his voice gets to show off the terrible accent he'll sometimes have throughout the movie.
She's marrying Stefan Abramov.
So he flies out to New Jersey for his daughter's wedding and tries his best to blend in, but this cabbie's not buying it.
California? Is that obvious?
Nothing about Seagal says California.
You don't get sandwiched amongst enough people, you wind up never knowing it.
What the fuck are you talking about? Seagal tells him to pull over so he can call a different cab and waits in this Russian bar where he finally remembers what his real voice sounds like.
Please tell everyone. Yeah. I'm back here.
This old man then drops the bombshell that he and Seagal's enemies have read a book about Seagal's life that hasn't even been written yet.
The guy in California is writing a book about your life. I read it. I think your enemies read it too.
Before we
that hairline
process what that means about time as a linear concept.
That's not a real hairline. No.
Oh, fight scene.
You offended us. You need to be punished.
Where he punches with so much force that it not only shatters the cup, but reality itself as the cup then fully reforms. This guy wasn't planning to battle Dr. Steven Strange Seagal, and after watching him shapeshift back and forth from fat to thin, he tries to weasel his way out of it.
Oh, that's a stunt double.
I'm just a pretender.
Sorry, bro, but jokes aren't going to save you because Seagal doesn't get them. This is Terry, the new husband of Seagal's ex-wife. It's not clear if he's a hero or a villain. We'll have to keep an eye on him. So
he slapped his wife.
And while Terry is a passive-aggressive dick,
Terry Goldstein. I'm also a defense attorney, so I defend guys like you. You must be Ruslan, the guy who writes the snuff books.
Seagal goes straight for the fucking jugular.
I want to go to bed with you right now.
Тоже не отказалась.
The real question is, where did her life go horribly wrong that she's in a love triangle with these two? Oh well, Seagal's here.
It goes on for another 15 minutes.
Enough, but oh my God,
Do you know how
that guy?
Do you know how he got his break?
Steven?
Yeah,
No.
it was two agents, and they were like, can you actually make the most uncharismatic, untalented, unlikable man a star?" And the guy took the bet and was like, "I know just the guy," and it was his karate instructor or whatever he teaches.
Wow.
And that's how he became famous.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was a
that's
bet
fascinating.
based on how to make the most awful person a star.
And we all won.
Yeah,
I could not stop watching these this morning. They're
great.
so funny.
Every one of his movies too, though. Alone, I was watching. What was the one with him and DMX?
Oh, that's a good one.
I watched the clip notes for that today.
Yeah, and they're watching, like, everybody's watching a monitor at a police station, and they all have these different things, and then Steven Seagal just goes, "He's black."
Exit wounds.
Yeah, exit wounds.
And doesn't the guy who's a cop, doesn't he buy a Lamborghini or something?
Yes.
How does that work?
Embezzlement.
I'm like, okay, I'm following the plot a little bit here, but how does a cop buy a Lamborghini? That's ridiculous.
Robbing drug dealers. But
Yeah.
they're like, it's fine.
Oh, that's right. They had a side. I forgot. They had a boiler room where they were doing something with parking tickets.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah.
Okay.
But they were being, they were being on the DL about it.
Yeah.
Buying Lambos.
Seagal didn't know until late in the movie he figured it out. All right, Dave. I tell you what, we'll let you go. I want to mention that you're going to be at One Night Stands on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
And then on the 23rd, where are you in Clinton Township?
Clinton Township at the Premier Center. And then you get tickets at DaveLandau.com.
Awesome. And what's new on Normal World?
We just put our Halloween sketch show. If people want to check it out, we got that. We have a bunch of different sketches we've been putting out, so take a look, subscribe.
One of which that I just want to highlight real quick
The
is
Halloween sketch show has been sent to me by a few people. It's very funny.
Thank you.
I loved this one because we saw the Men for Kamala ad where the guys were like, "Hey, I'm in a tough one," and then I liked your spin on it.
Thank you.
I'm a man. I'm a man.
I'm a man. I'm a man.
This guy's a lot of stuff Dave does.
macho man.
I like ribeye steaks. I lift barbell weights.
I can fit an entire can of Foster's in my mouth.
Anyways, you think I'm afraid to get my hands dirty?
You think I'm afraid of bears?
Bears.
I'll tell you another thing I'm sure as shit not afraid of. Women. All of my besties are women.
I mean, everyone in my book club is a woman.
Last year, I did a wine tour in Tuscany with women.
I'm physically attracted exclusively to women.
Ew, gross.
A woman wants to be president? Well, I'm man enough to give her my full-throated support.
You already had me at full-throated.
Because I'm man enough to raw dog a flight.
I'm man enough to raw dog an
Because I'm man enough to support women. I'm sick of so-called men dominating, controlling, and belittling women.
That's what I'm here for. Hound me like a chicken breast.
I'm man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women. You know, I'm not actually sure anyone wants to do that.
Put on a scary clown mask and tell me I ain't
Because I love women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
Where'd you get that outfit?
Yeah, in his closet.
Just had it.
Yeah.
Oh, that Tim. You should get tested.
Full buddy
You
call.
guys have a Tim Walls lookalike.
Yeah, my buddy Derek Richards.
Who is that guy?
Great comic, yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's from Detroit originally.
Yeah, I just noticed him in a few different skits.
Yeah.
First is Tim Walls, and then he's in some other stuff. But
Yeah.
he's very funny.
Yeah, he's a good dude. And what's funny about that sketch is we didn't really change the dialogue from the original commercial.
Oh, you didn't?
No, the full-throated support was already there.
Oh, jeez.
The raw dog of flight. Like there was, we barely gated up besides the one costume.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
The shit we see.
Yep.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
As always.
Again, yeah.
All right.
And,
I hope to see you on my show soon too.
Yeah, please.
Walter's wanted to do it
I'm
with me
psyched.
too.
Yeah, well, it sounds like we're going to come down there together at some point.
Very cool. Well, thanks for having me.
Fun. You bet. Again, Premier Center, Clinton Township, November 23rd, Saturday before Thanksgiving. New Year's Eve one-night stands, and you should grab tickets for that. People jump on those New Year's Eve tickets.
Lila!
Lila!